From the moment he stepped into the dim little bakery, the Mafia boss known across the city as Black Lion expected nothing more than a quiet morning espresso. What he didn't expect, what no one could have expected, was a tiny girl with trembling hands and 5 wrinkled dollars marching up to him like she owned the world. She looked him straight in the eye, completely unafraid of the monster adults whispered about, and said, "Sir, I need your help. Please." And as the entire bakery froze in fear, the most feared man in the city felt something he had not felt in years, his heartbeat. What she asked him changed everything. The bell above the bakery door jingled softly as the Black Lion, real name Leonardo Rossi, stepped inside. Customers instantly turned away, pretending not to see him. Even the barista's hands shook as she poured his espresso. Everyone feared him. That was the point. Power was built on fear. He took his usual seat in the corner, back against the wall, eyes scanning every entrance out of instinct. His life had been nothing but deals, debts, and danger. He had forgotten what silence felt like. Then he saw her. A little girl, no more than 8, with messy hair, a faded pink backpack, and sneakers that had holes in the front. She wasn't with anyone. She wasn't looking for her mother. She was walking straight toward him. Leonardo stiffened. Children didn't approach him. Adults barely breathed in his direction. She stopped in front of him, placed her tiny hand on the table, and slid forward a crumpled $5 bill. The whole bakery gasped. Leonardo stared at the money, then at her. "Kid, you're at the wrong table." She shook her head. "No. You're the man who helps people. Everyone says so." He almost laughed. "Helps?" No one had ever used that word for him before. "What's your name?" he asked. "Amelia," she whispered. "And please. I need you." Against every instinct in his hardened body, Leonardo leaned forward. Something about her voice, thin, brave, breaking, pulled at him. "And what," he said slowly, "do you want a man like me to do?" Amelia swallowed, her eyes filling with tears she refused to let fall. "Help my mommy. They're going to take her away." The entire room felt like it stopped breathing, and for the first time in years, Leonardo Rossi, the Black Lion, felt something powerful enough to crack stone: compassion. Leonardo brought little Amelia outside and crouched down so he could look her in the eyes. She clutched her backpack like it was a lifeline. He noticed how thin her wrists were, how tired her eyes looked, far too old for someone her age. "What do you mean they're taking your mom?" he asked gently. Amelia's voice wavered. "The landlord says she didn't pay enough. We tried. Mommy works so hard, but the money isn't enough. And now they said today we have to leave. I don't want to lose our home. Mommy's crying. I thought maybe you help people who are in trouble." She looked at him with a mix of hope and desperation. Leonardo felt his stomach twist. The girl's mother wasn't the only one facing eviction. He had seen this story countless times: families crushed under bills, forced out by people richer and colder than winter. He had been one of those kids once. Poor. Scared. Helpless. His mother had cried too. He still remembered the sound. He took a slow breath. "Amelia, why come to me? There are police, charities." "I tried," she said quickly. "They said they can't help. But you look like someone who can do things." "Do things, yes." That was exactly what he did. But not the kind a child should know about. Still, she believed in him. That alone made his chest ache. He stood and held out his hand. "Take me to your mom." The walk to their apartment was quiet. Amelia skipped occasionally to keep up with his large steps. When they arrived, Leonardo saw peeling paint, broken stairs, and a line of other families with boxes, victims of the same landlord, inside the tiny apartment. Amelia's mother looked up, shocked. Her eyes widened in terror when she saw who stood behind her daughter and Mr. Rossi. I didn't know she." Leonardo raised a hand to calm her. "Relax. I'm not here for trouble." The landlord arrived moments later, barking orders, threatening to call the police if rent wasn't paid immediately. Leonardo stepped between him and the frightened family. "How much?" Leonardo asked. The landlord smirked. "More than they'll ever have." Leonardo pulled out a thick envelope, stuffed with cash. "This should cover their debt. Plus the repairs you never made." The landlord's face drained of color. "Why yes, Mr. Rossi. Of course." He ran out of the apartment as fast as he could. Amelia's mother collapsed into tears. Amelia hugged her tightly, and Leonardo, the feared black lion, quietly turned to leave, wanting no thanks, no attention. But then Amelia rushed after him and grabbed his coat. "You didn't even take my $5. He smiled, really smiled, for the first time in years. "Keep it, kid. Buy yourself something sweet." She shook her head and placed the money back in his hand. "No. That was for helping. If you don't take it, then I didn't pay you properly." Her innocence hit him harder than any bullet. Slowly, he folded the $5 bill and placed it inside his coat pocket, right over his heart. "All right, Amelia," he said softly. "I'll take it." He didn't know it yet, but that tiny gesture, $5 was about to change his entire life. Over the next few days, something strange happened. Leonardo found himself thinking about Amelia constantly, her bravery, her honesty, her quiet strength. He had spent his entire life using fear to move the world around him, but that little girl had walked straight into the lion's den with nothing more than hope, and she had won. He visited her apartment again, pretending it was just to check the repairs, but Amelia saw right through him. She dragged him inside, showed him her drawings, introduced him to her cat, and even told him jokes that made him laugh more than he had in a decade. Her mother was cautious at first, but she soon noticed something. When Leonardo was around, Amelia smiled. And so did he. One evening, as the sun painted the sky orange, Amelia asked the question he never expected, "Mr. Rossi, why do people look scared when they see you?" Leonardo froze. No lie would do. "Not for her, because I made mistakes," he admitted quietly. "Big ones. And people remember." She looked up, eyes wide but calm. "But, you're nice." "Nobody's ever called me that," he whispered. "Well," she said with a shrug, "maybe they just didn't look." That simple sentence broke something inside him. He wanted, desperately, to be the man she saw. Not the black lion. Not the feared boss. Just someone good. Over the next months, Leonardo began pulling away from the criminal life. Slowly at first, then with fierce determination. He reorganized his operations toward legal businesses, security, shipping, construction. He protected families instead of threatening them. His crew thought he was losing his mind, but they followed. Because a lion that protects is far more powerful than a lion that hunts, and through it all, he kept Amelia's $5 bill in his pocket. One night, as he tucked it carefully back into place, he realized something. That little girl hadn't just paid him, she had saved him. The men who once ruled the city through fear now walked beside an 8-year-old girl, carrying grocery bags for her mother, laughing at silly jokes, and finding a life he never believed he deserved. Amelia changed him because sometimes heroes don't wear capes, sometimes they carry $5 and a heart big enough to change a lion.